Welcome, everybody on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. My name is Kyle King. I am the founder and CEO of The Writer's Game. Our specialty and our focus is helping high-level professionals, executives, entrepreneurs turn their story, turn their experience, turn their education into a book, and then help them build a business behind their story. So let's get it. So tonight we're going to be talking about something that I get a question about all the time, like, Kyle, how can I turn my story into a business? How can I generate revenue? And like most of us know, 90%, 90% of authors only sell 276 copies of their book within the lifetime, within the lifespan of them being an author. So it's not one of those things that people do well. Our company specializes in helping people sell 1,000 copies within the first 30 to 60 days. And there's a lot of different ways that we can sell books. And there's a lot of different platforms that we could be able to sell books on, but we have to be able to understand them and know them. So let's get to it. If you have any comments on any of the platforms, I want you to comment. If you have any questions, I will answer all of the questions that I received tonight. All right. I'm going to be on here as long as you guys have questions. I have my points. But one of the things that I want to be able to reference is that the Writer's Game book. The Writer's Game book is where I'm going to be pulling all of this information from. I'm going to be going live Monday through Friday, every single day of the week at 9 p.m. So tune in, tap in with us, and we're going to be able to get started. So let's get to it. So in chapter, I think 15, right? Chapter 15, I talk about one thing that we're going to be discussing tonight: the business beyond the book. The business beyond the book. And in this chapter, we're really focusing on how, once you get your book published, after you have your systems, after you go through pre-launch and then your launch, after you're marketing the book, what are all of the different things that we can do to be able to generate high income? What are all of the things that we could do to be able to increase these streams of income, all of these different streams? So obviously, number one is book sales. Okay. So what I talk about specifically, and I'm going to reference the book throughout this. All right. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at a book, my own book. All right. So we've tested all of this information. So the first thing that I want to talk about is book sales. So during the pre-launch and your launch, post-launch phase, the focus is really being able to have high content, highly valuable content. Now, what this content looks like is you're marketing the pain points, the challenges, the desires and achievements that a reader would go through so that they could be able to get to this point after they read your book. You're marketing specifically what are the objections or what are the frequently asked questions that would be answered by someone or a reader reading your book. All of that is high level content so that you can be engaging, you can be educational, inspiring, and then you can motivate your reader or your prospect at that time to be able to take action so that they could take advantage of the resources or the information in your book. Okay. So once we've done that, the goal of pre-launch, the goal of launch, the goal of book sales is to be able to generate $10,000 to $15,000 within that first 30 to 60 days. What I wrote down in the book is the goal of this section within the first 30 to 60 days of publishing and launching is to sell 1,000 copies of the book for $10 to $15, helping to generate $10,000 to $15,000 in gross revenue. Although this is only a maximum of $15,000, because you've captured the contact information of 1,000 people, now you're able to continue the marketing efforts. Now, this is where a lot of authors make the mistake, because a lot of authors aren't understanding and seeing their book as a business. They're seeing it literally just what it is. They're just seeing it as a book. They're going to exhaust their market. They're going to market it on social media until people just unfollow them. But where you're missing the mark, if you're an author, if you're somebody who aspires to be an author, is that you're not leveraging all of the other stuff that can potentially happen, or that the other things that could be sold as a part of your book. The reality of it is that the book alone isn't going to make you a millionaire. It's all of the other things. It's the courses, it's the subscriptions, it's all of the other 8 sources of revenue and 8 streams of income that we're going to be talking about today. So once you have these 1,000 people, and I'm going to have other videos, other lives where I talk about, well, how do you get those 1,000 people? All right. So just tune in, stay throughout the whole time. Once you have those initial 1,000 people, now the second step, and what we have right here, right, is digital products and services. So the book is simply 100 to 200 pages. Let's say you have a longer book, 300 pages max. Okay. That is like the lead generator. That's the first step. That's the date. That's kind of like the first date, to show that you're an authority, show that you're credible, show that you know what you're talking about. But now what I wrote down specifically is they want their questions answered, or they may want to go a bit more in depth with the information that you shared. So what does that look like? What digital products or services do you have readily available for somebody to be able to take advantage of? You have a masterclass with a series of information. And what that looks like is, let's say you have 7 chapters of your book. Each chapter could have potentially a 5 to 10 minute video just explaining that chapter more in depth, answering high level questions. And then you can have, let's say, 7 to 10 videos, an intro video, a conclusion video, and all of that could be a part of a masterclass. Let's say number 2, you have a small mini course, something with maybe 10 to 15 videos, or you maybe have an actual online program, which is something that you could sell maybe from $1,000 to $5,000. Okay, so what I wrote down here is the goal of this section within the first 30 to 60 days. All right, 30 to 60 days of publishing and launching is to sell 500 digital bundles. What that looks like is a course, a masterclass, 500 digital bundles. So some type of digital product or service for $297, helping to generate $148,500 in revenue. So if you think about it, with the efforts from book sales alone and your digital bundle, this will help an author generate $163,500 within the first 30 to 60 day period. Now, the question is always like, Kyle, come on. How am I going to first get the 1,000, people to buy my book at the $10 to $15? That's 15 grand. And then how are you saying that of those 1,000 people, how am I going to get 500? That's half. That's 50% conversion. How am I going to get 500 of those people to be able to buy another $297? Now, we're going to talk about this in another live, but I'm just going to give you some sauce real quick. All right. So this is the importance of not just having an author landing page. And that's what a lot of traditional coaches or traditional publishing companies teach you. Have a landing page, just have a place where somebody could buy your book and then just check out, and then, just have the quantity feature. That is wrong. That is wrong. Now, that worked in a period of time. It was very effective in a period of time. But if you want to be able to own your marketplace, if you want to be able to capture the contact information, and you want to take them through a series of events, a sequence of what we call an ascension of events or products or services or offers, then what I would recommend is not just having an author landing page. I recommend having some type of sequence of events that allows you to do what? To take them from your book to your $297 offer to a $997 course to then a $5,000 program to then continuing to move them up. Remember this, the size of the problem that you're solving will determine the size of the paycheck that you receive. So as you solve higher level problems that are more meaningful to your author, or to your reader, that will then allow someone to do what? Pay you more, and then they want what? More access to you. So on the front end, all they have is the book. That's all they got. Then you give them a little bit more sauce. Now they have questions answered. Now they have a face, they have video modules. Then after that, they may have more in-depth video modules and in sub-themes and resources and worksheets and all these different things. So when you think about it, the more access that they get, the deeper that you do a better job you do with solving problems, then what will happen on the back end is that they'll start to pay you more money. So kill the author landing pages and actually get a book funnel leveraging Kajabi, leveraging a ClickFunnels platform, leveraging a Kartra, leveraging a Lead Pages. One of these systems that will allow your book to be the first offer, and then you're able to move people through that offer. All right. So number three is membership, community, or subscriptions. And again, if you have questions, I want you to put them in the comment section. I see the hellos. Hey, Norma. Hey, Bernadette. I see the hellos. But if you have questions, I want you to put them in the comment section. If you are an author, if you're a new author, if you're already a published author, or you're an aspiring author, I want to hear your questions. I want you guys to talk back to me, because again, this is for you guys to just educate you and teach you about the 9 streams of income that can happen from one book. So first one was book sales. Number 2 is digital products and courses or services. And number 3 is membership, community, or subscriptions. So now that we've helped to generate $1,500 purchases. All right. So that is $1,000, the 1,000 purchases with the book sales. and then we generated an additional 500 with the digital bundles, there's been 1,500 purchases. So now you have some type of buzz online. Now you have some type of credibility. Now you have some type of framework that people believe in. Okay. So now what you're going to be able to do is, from these people that have purchased, whether it's 1,000 people or 750 people, it doesn't matter. You've sold 1,000 books and you've sold 500 digital bundles. So if people bought multiple or they've gifted them, it doesn't matter. Now what you're going to do is you're going to want to create some type of community. And from these people, they see your book as valuable information. Now they want questions answered. They want to engage with you a little bit. They want, answers. They want questions. They want community. Because at the end of the day, people don't just want content. They don't just want a coach. They want to be able to collaborate with other people that are in similar positions, that may have similar pain points, but also are trying to achieve what? Similar desires or points of result. They're trying to get a result. So when you create a community, let's say at what I have down here is a community at $47 a month, and that's a monthly community. The goal is within the first 30 to 60 days, what I have written down here, the first 30 to 60 days of publishing and launching, is to enroll 250 members into your community for $47 a month, helping to generate what? $11,750 in revenue on a monthly basis. Now, I know these numbers are aggressive, and it's kind of like, Kyle, how are you going to, guarantee these numbers? I'm not guaranteeing anything. This all depends on a lot of different factors. Your marketing strategies, if you follow, in the book, we provide, again, a whole marketing plan. So if you follow our plan in pre-launch, in launch, and marketing, then you'll be able to achieve these numbers. But the reality of it is that people skip steps. Authors are only really focused on book sales. They don't do a good job with branding themselves correctly online. And that's why a lot of times authors aren't producing the numbers that they need to be able to produce, so that they can create this type of revenue that they honestly deserve throughout this process. So if you just do that, we've now generated over a 12-month period, helping the business to generate $141,000 annually. Okay. So on top of the $163,000, with just the membership community alone, if you continue this type of revenue over a period of a 12-month period, you're now able to generate an additional 141. So add that to the 163. We've already built a mid six-figure business right there from just book sales, a digital course or a product, as well as what? Our online community. So these are just three things. All right. These are just three streams of income that we could be able to create. Hello, everybody. Super excited. If you have questions, comment them below. I'll see the questions, and then I want to be able to bring the questions up on the screen so that we can answer the questions. But I want y'all to take notes and talk back to me. How are we feeling? Put a 1 to 5 in the comment section, wherever you are, whatever platform that it is that you're using. I want to know how you're feeling, what questions you have, and how can I support you in your season and where you are with your book, with your business, or whatever it is that you're struggling or challenged with right now. All right. So let's get to number 4. So number 4 is my favorite, speaking engagements. So on social media, you guys saw it. If you follow me on any social platform, you probably saw that I was speaking at an event this previous weekend. Now, I believe that authors do it in 2 different ways, right? They either bring their books to then gain a speaking engagement, or they say yes to a speaking engagement, and then that can give them the opportunity of positioning their books at the end of the speech. Okay. So what I mean by that, one, you can just set up as a vendor at a conference, at an event, or all these different things, and you can bring your books. And then from that, it potentially gets you speaking engagements. Or you can position yourself as an expert or as a thought leader, and then either apply or get paid to speak at different events. And what does that do? That allows you to, if you do a good job, of course, that allows you to sell your books at the end of the speech. Or sometimes what I do is I'll just give my books away for free, because I believe that a lot of experts, your business card is your book. And then now you're maybe giving a $20 book away, which really you're only printing for $5. So you're really giving that away. And then people are not able to really read through the whole book. Now, if they do, they still want to work with you. But if they don't, they still need help and assistance with whatever it is that your book is talking about. So now that gives you the opportunity to work with them. But specifically, speaking engagements is stream of income number 4. If you're getting paid $1,000 to $5,000 to $10,000, depending on your expertise, depending on your industry, depending on your ability to speak, and your ability to perform on stage. All of these different factors, matter. But again, I've seen people that are getting $30,000-$40,000 from speaking engagements. Now those are people on the Jeremy Andersons, the Inky Johnsons, the Eric Thomas. But if you're even just getting 4 speaking engagements on a monthly basis that are $5,000, that's an additional $20,000 on a monthly basis just from speaking. If you did that alone and didn't sell any more books, you would be able to generate high revenue. All right. So I'm going to stop here because I really want to be able to bring some questions up. All right. So I heard that you did an amazing job at your recent speaking engagement from someone I know personally. Bernadette, I really appreciate you for even saying that. But I'm going to just bring up a question really quickly. All right. Because I think this is important. Are there strategies to writing your autobiography? How far back should you start? That is a great question, Isaiah. One of the things that I always believe is that I believe you have to answer one question before you answer that question. The question is determining your goals. What is your overall goal of this book? Is your goal of this book to gain speaking engagements? Is your goal of this book to just tell your story? Is your goal of this book to brand you as a specific expert in a specific industry? Once you understand your goal of the book, now number 2 is, well, who is this book for? Like, who is your target audience? Your specific target audience. How I would recommend you doing that is there's one activity that we do here at the Writers Game called creating a character. If your audience or your reader was being featured in a movie, what is their setting? What are the pain points that they're going through? What are their challenges? What are they desiring in their achievements? You could build an empathy map. So what are they feeling? What are they seeing? What are they hearing? Kind of what are they experiencing as they read your book? But that worked, when we were at one level, but I want to take it a step deeper. And today was your last day. God forbid today was your last day. And you had to give a 30-minute speech in front of a group of people on this autobiography that you're referencing. You talk about, and what would be your overall goal that you're trying to leave people with? Okay. So the reason that I'm asking that question is because based upon your overall goal and the transformation and the results that you're trying to leave with them, now I want you to go back into your story and then bring out those experiences, those stories, and those things that connect with your overall goal, as well as relate to the overall reader. See, a lot of us think that all of the stories in our life matter. They matter in seasons, but they may not matter in this specific book. So what I want you to do is think of your goal, determine your outcome. Once you do that, understand who your reader is. Then understand you could do a triple 10 model, what we call a triple 10 model. Look at the 10 wins in your life, the 10 wins, and then the 10 losses in your life. So wins are things that you achieved, things that made you proud, things that you succeeded in. 10 losses are things that you didn't succeed in, things that don't make you proud. Maybe wins are I went to college, I got married, I got a great job, I made 6 figures, I built this great business. 10 losses are I got a divorce, I got heartbroken, boom, 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 right? So let's think of a win. From the win, how did you do it? Like, what is the process? And then you're able to write that for each win. For the loss, what happened? What did you learn from it? And now you're able to extract that from there as well. Okay. So when you think of those different things and then you think of the goal, now you're able to go through and then attach the lessons as well as the stories specific to your goal. All of the other things that didn't make it, those can go into the next book. So hopefully that answers your question, Isaiah. All right. So how do you get on the speaking circuit? That is a great question. I appreciate you, Mom, for asking that great question. So there's a multitude of ways. So one way that I'm actively working on now, and if you are a conference director, if you're a principal at a school, if you're a business professional, podcast host, I would love to come on your platform and talk about the business behind your story and how you make hundreds of thousands of dollars from leveraging your story. Okay. So how do you get on the speaking circuit? This is a question that I get all of the time, and I want to be able to help you guys. So one recent thing, and it's hot right now that I learned today. Shout out to Ebony Frazier from Jeremy Anderson Group. I want you guys to go to Instagram or Facebook, and I want you to use the hashtag conference, the hashtag conference speaker, the hashtag leadership conference, the hashtag education conference, and then find all of the different posts that come up, whether you're researching a speaker and then go to the actual conference that they're speaking at, or the specific conference page, and then go to that conference page And then I want you to reach out to the conference director, because a lot of those conference websites have the director's information on there. All speakers need a few things. They need a speaker reel, which is like a video highlight of you speaking, audience interacting, all of these different things. So at my speaking engagement this past weekend, I had 2 videographers with me so that they could be able to get create a whole new speaker reel for me. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you need a 1-pager. The 1-pager is if you've written books, they should be on there. Testimonials, your website, your social media. How did they get in contact with you? A little bit about your bio. What are your speaking topics? And then what are the goals of those specific speeches as well? All right. Now, if you are an author, here's a quick hack that we're getting ready to do as well. All right. And you'll watch it. So if you have a book, then I want you to send the book to 100 people. What I call these 100 people are your most valuable players, These could be gatekeepers at organizations, conference directors. This could be principals, administrators, think wardens to prisons, organizational leaders. Think about where your audience is in mass quantity, and the leader over those specific people. I want you to write in your book a nice little sticky note. I want you to put it on that specific page. I want you to write a handwritten letter. I want you to go to the post office and send it in media mail. And then what I want you to do, I want you to make it, or you can go to FedEx because you could do this better at FedEx. I want you to go send it off and make them sign for it. So now you know that they've actually received it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to reach out to that person 2 days later and say, hey, I'm an author. I would love to come in and speak or have the opportunity to present in front of your team or in front of your students or in front of your inmates, whatever the case may be. And I talk about this. You can see in the book. I would be happy to send you over my speaker reel, our 1 sheet, so that you could just see a little bit about what I do, who I am, and all of these different things, and then build relationships. Now, check this out. If you sent out 100 books, that's roughly $500. $500 it will cost you. If you get 1 speaking engagement for $5,000, just 1%, right? 1 speaking engagement for $5,000, that's a 10x investment. That's a 10x ROI, okay? So let's say you got 30 people to reach back out. Once you do a good job at the 1, what I want you to do after the fact is see if they would recommend you to other people, okay? To other people. So we're going to talk about this, how you actually go about doing it. We're going to talk about it, but these are just quick sauce for you right now. So and check this out, we're only on stream 4. We're only on stream 4, y'all. We're only on stream 4. So number 1, just to recap, and I am pulling this information from my own book, y'all, from my own book. So if you need a copy, if you're interested in getting a copy of the book, I just need you to just comment under the video. Just comment under the video. It's not ready. It's not ready yet. But if you comment under the video, I'm going to have a team member reach out. We're going to make something happen for you. Okay. So number 1 was book sales. That's stream number 1. Number 2 is digital products and services. Number 3 is membership communities and subscriptions. Number 4 is speaking engagements. Speaking engagements. All right. If you have a business, I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to get back to that question right there. I see you, Donna. I see you. Number 4 is speaking engagements. And then number 5 is curriculum or learning resources. Curriculum or learning resources. So now that you've put together this framework and all of this great information in one cohesive way, and this is the importance of writing a book, y'all. This is the importance of writing the book. All right. This is the importance. So once you put it in a framework, now what are we going to do? We're going to put it into a curriculum or a learning resource. What I wrote down in my book, verbatim, right? I said the goal of this section within the first 90 to 120 days of publishing and launching is to get 4 curriculums or learning resource contracts secured within professional organizations for $25,000 to help you generate an additional $100,000. Now, with this could look like what? You've spoken publicly at these events, right? You did an amazing job. They wanted to buy your book. They bought, let's say, 500 copies of your book. But now they need help with the implementation inside their school, inside their organization, inside their nonprofit, inside their governmental organization, whatever the case may be, wherever their establishment is. So your curriculum or your learning resource will continue that education. All it is continuous education, okay? I see that I would like a book. I love it. Stay on, and we're going to make it happen. Put your email. Not, you know what? I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all. I'm gonna make it shake for you. I'm gonna make it shake for you. For what the curriculum or the learning resources, if you just sell four, you just sell four for $25,000. That's it. That's $100,000. So check this out. You get 4 speaking engagements for $5,000. That's $20,000, right? You get 4 curriculums for $25,000. That's $100,000. You sell 500 digital bundles at $297. That's $100,000 roughly. You sell 1,000 books at $15. That's $15,000. And then you sell 250 memberships in your membership community at $50 or $47 a month. That's $11,000 per month roughly, and then that gives you $141 per year. That's roughly $400,000 or $500,000. I wasn't counting, I wasn't calculating, but that's roughly $400,000 to $500,000. Just from those 5 income streams alone, you have entered into a new tax bracket. You're now part of like a whole nother tax bracket. And that's only 4 curriculums. That's saying that, look, I'm going to just reach out to 4 companies and have them believe in what I've built. 4. Let's say you reached out to 100 companies a month. All you need is 4. All you need is 4 yeses, y'all. You could get 96 no's. Let me ask y'all this. Are the 96 no's worth $100,000? Are they? Are the 96 no's worth $100,000? Because a lot of us on this call, a lot of us watching this aren't willing to call 100 companies. We're not willing to call 100 companies, but if you called 100 companies and you only got 4 yeses, that's worth $100,000. 100,000. All right. So I want you to stay with me. Stay with me. Just stay into the end. We're on number 6 now. We're on number 6. So once you've built up momentum, right? You have these book sales, you have this great community, you have this curriculum or these learning resources, you've been on the speaking circuit. Now number 6 is live events. Now you're ready. You've built up a community, you've built up a framework. Now you're ready to have an event. Now what that event could look like is, you could just get, what I have down is the goal of this is to have 100 people register for $500. Now that's harder than it sounds. I'm gonna tell you this. And a friend of mine did a conference this past weekend, and it's a lot harder than it looks. Okay. But what if we got 200 people to pay $50? I think that's doable. I think that's doable, right? And the goal of this is to be able to generate 50 grand, okay, in revenue. And this could be a 1 or 2 day event, either in person or virtual, depending on your bandwidth and your experience. And why I put that in the chapter is because it really does depend on your bandwidth and your experience. All right, I'm going to go back to one of my questions. Is that okay with y'all? And continue to put in your questions in the chat. Continue to put in your questions in the chat. All right. So if you have a business website, should you create a separate website or a website separately just to highlight you as an author? Yes, yes, and yes. And this is why. Okay, let me answer. That's a great question, Auntie's assistant. That's a great question. So why I say yes is for a few reasons. All right. Number 1 is because when someone comes to your website, they're going to get distracted. And you know that we live in the day and age of our attention spans is like that. And then we're on 8 other websites. Okay. Like TikTok, you're on 10 videos and it's only been 5 minutes. So when you think about having a specific website, and what I teach in the business and our framework is that with your book, you need to buy the book domain. So with the Writer's Game book, we've bought the domain. The funnel, the landing pages, and all of that isn't even up yet. So you won't be able to search for it yet because it's technically not available for the public yet. Okay. So we're going to be talking about it. And this is all of part of the pre-launch method. But you should buy the domain of the book. So it should be like thewritersgamebook.com or yourbook.com. Okay. So buy the domain and then build a separate landing page or a funnel sequence. I talked about this a little bit earlier. A funnel sequence for that specific book where the book is highlighted. Now, when they purchase the book, they put in their name, their email, their phone number. They purchase the book, and now it takes them through a sequence of events that takes them to the masterclass next. It takes them to the membership community because now everything is attached to that specific book. Now, your business can have services and products and all these different things. But me personally, and what we teach, just my professional advice, is that you should separate the business website and the book website. Wow, I bought mine the other day. I love to see it, Bernadette. I love to see it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So let's continue. Let's continue. So the next, where are we at? Are we on number 7, y'all? Yes, we are on number 7. So the 7th stream of income. Hope y'all ready. Hope y'all ready. Have y'all been following me? I want somebody who's my super student. I call them super students when they're paying attention in class. And this is class. So who is my super student? Who can tell me the first 6? Who can tell me I'm giving a free book out. I'm giving a free book to the person that can comment the first 6 of the streams of income. Who's that person? Who's that person that can comment the first 6 of the streams of income? All right. And I've said them a few different times, so you may have been able to get them. All right. So we're on number 7 now. So number 7 is high ticket coaching programs or mastermind groups. So let me tell you something. After you've done a live event, after you've done book sales, after you've done membership community, and you got a curriculum, and you've done speaking engagements, and you have digital products and services. Oh, I just gave y'all the 6 technically. After you've done these different things, you're an expert at that point. You are an authority. You are credible. It's time for you to have some type of high ticket service. All right. And the high ticket service or the mastermind group is taking a specific. All right, Bernadette, you got it. You were the first one to get it because you're my super student tonight. So we're going to contact you after the call and we're going to get you a free book out. All right. So, and then again, if you're paying attention throughout the call, comment. And then we're going to get you some resources. So if you're doing all of this, you're ready for a high ticket program. And what I wrote verbatim in the book is the goal after the live event that you just did, right? The goal after the live event is to close 30% of the audience on a $25,000 offer. 30% of the audience for a $25,000 offer, generating what? That's helping you generate $750,000. Now, you're like, Kyle, you throwing out numbers that aren't even realistic. They are. They really are. These numbers are very realistic, and I've seen them. Trust me. Okay. So what I want you to do, because once you invite people to an event, the reality of it is when you have someone paying $500 to come to an event, it's a certain type of person that is able to afford a $500 event. We're going to talk about this in later videos, but that is what we call a qualifying method. It qualifies them as someone that is viable. It's kind of like the application, like the credit application before you give them the terms of the deal, essentially, right? So that qualifies them to do business with you on some type of higher level, okay? So if you're able to close 30% of that room, then that gives you the opportunity of generating $750,000. Now, the reality of it is that we're not always going to be in a position like that. So there's 2 things that I want you to focus on. Either increasing your ability to convert people, and that takes a skill of selling, okay? So being able to sell not the product, but the result and the transformation as an author, but now you're turning yourself into the business owner, okay? Or number 2 is increase the quantity of people. So now let's say we're still closing at 10%. We may need 1,000 people in a room so that we can be able to close still at that 10%, but we're closing to more people, all right? Rather than somebody that's a little lower, it's a little bit different. All right. That comment threw me off, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is the first live stream and it's getting weird. Okay. It's getting weird, but it's all right. So, all right. So I want you to think about it from that perspective. Once you go through your live event, then I want you to sell your offer. And the offer is simple as like, look, if you want to work with me on a more, kind of intimate one-on-one level, or you want to work with our team and we take you through this intentional process. Shout out to Bernadette. She is the author, the new author of Jumping the Rope. Super excited for her. But let's use her as an example, okay? Let's say she had a mastermind for women that were going through this different process, and we call it like the Jumping the Rope process. And she's charging them $25,000 to work with her one-on-one, and she's only taking on 5 people. That's potentially $125,000 for her in revenue, but it's less people, higher level impact. Remember, the size of the problem that you're solving is the size of the paycheck that you're getting ready to get, okay? And sometimes if we extend the time that we're willing to take on that payment, it will then increase, all right? So that's the next one. So let's keep going. Number eight. Are y'all still following me? Hopefully this is valuable for you guys. Hope it's valuable. And again, put your questions in the comment section. Questions, comments, how are you guys feeling? Is this valuable? Are you learning valuable information? Put your questions in the comment section, and I would love to get to them all tonight. So then the next one, the next eight, number eight. We're on number eight, y'all. We're on number eight. The eighth stream of income. The eighth stream of income is a certification program. All right, is a certification program. Now, I'm going to give you an example of a real-time author that all of us know that has an amazing certification program that you probably didn't know, but it's making him millions of dollars on an annual basis. John Maxwell, right? He has a John Maxwell Academy where you could literally learn his way, his leadership way, and then you can go off and teach the John Maxwell way. It's the craziest thing. But when I learned it and when I started to study it, I'm like, wow, well, we can create the Writer's Game way where we help people become author coaches, and then they go off and teach other people how to write this sequence, because we've built it and we've put it. Hold on. Let me do it like this. We put it in a sequence. So like, how do you write? How do you build the chapter content? How do you launch? And we've given you every single thing in a book. So now we can license this content out in a very intentional way. And now we can build a certification program. So what we have here and what I've written down is that due to this being optional, because this is optional, this isn't something that you have to do, something that we, definitely recommend, but not something that you would have to do as a part of your overall marketing and branding strategy. The cost of a certification program that we've helped our authors begin range from $5,000 to roughly $12,000. So let's say you have a specific framework, and this is why it's important to work with a coach. This is why it's important to understand your framework, because I believe that there's a lot of authors, there's a lot of experts, there's a lot of coaches that don't have a clear framework and clarity in regards to what they're serving what they're serving to people and how they're solving people's problems. All right. So once you have a clear framework and how you're getting that result for a specific audience or a specific market, you need to sell that and you need to package it up and then take people through it. And oftentimes what you'll learn is that people that have already been through your framework will probably be the best people to then go off and teach your framework. And now you can build an affiliate program, and now they're recommending people, and then you're getting revenue on the back end. Okay. So that's number eight. So again, I'm going to give the offer again. I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm going to give the offer again. If you can write down the first eight streams of income, if you can write down the first eight streams of income, I'm giving another free book away. I'm giving the Writer's Game book. Hasn't even hit the market yet, y'all. Hasn't even hit the market. I mean, this is crispy. This is 200 pages of each individual step on how you go from ideation of an idea to unpacking your story, developing the content, writing the content, publishing it, launching it, pre-launching it, then launching it, marketing it, building a business, and then being able to generate high revenue from your story. All right. So I'm giving another free book away. If you could just put in the comment section, what are the 8 streams of income that I just said before I even get to the 9th? Before I get to that last one, I'm gonna just wait for y'all to put all 8 in there. Hopefully you've been taking notes. But in the meantime, I'm gonna answer this question. When I was a panelist during the Dad and Me event, a dad that was there recognized me as a panelist. How do you build from that recognition? That is a great question. That is we got it. Auntie's assistant got it. So how do you build from that recognition? So how I'm seeing this and how I would go about answering this is that consistency is everything, right? Somebody asked me, like, how do you become like a leader in your industry? One of my clients asked me this, like, how are you seen as a leader in the industry, or like one of the go-tos or the best in the industry? And I reference an athlete, LeBron James, or like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant, or a Tom Brady, or anybody that's like at the highest of the highest level. It's one word: consistency. If you saw me come on here one time, it doesn't matter how well I deliver. If you don't continue to see me, I'm not going to then be a thought, and I'm not going to be recognizable, or I'm not going to be able to build the brand. So what that sometimes takes to be able to answer that question that we got here is you continuing to show up, you continue to position yourself in different rooms, on different platforms, whether it's podcasting, whether it's influencer marketing, whether it's joint collaborations, cross collaborations, webinars, joint webinars with other people, maybe even creating your own platform to do events and then providing other people a space to be able to, showcase their knowledge and their information. So one thing, how do you become recognizable is results, relationships, and you have to be consistent throughout that process. It's just all about consistency. I've seen some absolutely amazing videos, but then I go to their page and there's really not any more. So you have to be able to stay consistent over a period of time, and then through that time you'll be able to cultivate the right relationships, because then people will see your results and your consistency, and then that will allow them to be able to value you. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question in a very intentional way. All right, so number 9. Who's ready for number 9? Put a 9 in the comment section if you're ready for the 9th stream of income. So I'm just going to do a quick recap before I even get to the 9th stream of income, just for those of you who just popped on with us. All right, so number 1 is book sales. Number 2 is digital products and services. Number 3 is membership, community, or subscriptions. Number 4 is speaking engagements. Number 5 are curriculum or learning resources. Number 6 is live events. Number 7 are high ticket coaching programs or mastermind groups. Number 8 are certification programs. And y'all ready for number 9? I see some 9s in the comment section. I see some 9s. Let's go. Let's go. I'm loving the engagement tonight. Woo! I'm loving the engagement. So number 9 is consultant services. Consultant services. This is where now you've established yourself as an expert. You've gained that recognition in a specific marketplace. You've been seen by professional organizations as somebody that is the go-to person and the leader in that specific space. Now, what I wrote down is within 6 to 8 months of your book being published and launched, the goal is to have 4 clients paying $4,000 minimum per month, generating $16,000 in monthly revenue. Throughout this section, we've outlined how you can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue from your book being published and launched. All right. So for most people, I'm going to keep reading. For most people, when they see the different revenue streams and possibilities, they want to do them all at one time. And that is a major mistake that costs their overall level of success in any of them. Move down the list in order and hit your goals one section at a time. This will allow you to create both brand equity and awareness, allowing your business to grow and people's lives to be changed. Woo! When you write a book and then you read it again, it just is like, wow, I wrote these words. That's crazy. But that's the 9th one. So consultant services. So now what you can do is the same companies that you launched that curriculum with, the same companies that you had the speaking engagements with, the same companies are at the conferences that you went on and just straight delivered, or the same companies that you sold these books to in bulk. All right. These same companies, these same places, you go back to those companies and say, hey, I know that we currently have a curriculum that you're leveraging and you're using the information and you're licensing this information from us. But now we can have a strategist, me, come in, or someone from my team come in and help you be able to implement this specific information in your classroom, in your prison, in your governmental organization, in your company, on your nonprofit board, whatever the case may be. And now that company is paying you a retainer on a monthly basis. And I said $4,000 a month. Look, I have a company paying $15,000 a month. It's a little late, but it's all good. Have a company paying $15,000 a month, and it's for implementation and strategy. But what you can do is you can have a company that is just paying you for the strategy, and you're just meeting on whether it be a weekly, a monthly, or a bi-weekly basis, and you're just strategizing with the company, and you're not even doing any work. It's genius. You have something so powerful in your mind. You have something truly amazing that you've been sitting on. So whether you've been sitting on that book, whether you've been sitting on that experience, whether you've been sitting on that testimony, whether you already have a book and you haven't been leveraging all of the different ways that we've been able to talk tonight about, so that you could be able to get your message out in a more effective and profitable way. Let me tell you something. We have a book that's coming soon. We have a book that is coming soon. The Writer's Game, the business behind your story. And if you know me, you know that I know this. All right. So again, the book is not available. The book is not available. I want you to continue to tune in. Continue to tune in, because I'm teaching right from the book, y'all. I'm teaching right from the book. And I want to be able to give you all the sauce. But if you are an author if you are someone that is interested in becoming an author and you wrote down these specific steps, I want you to take it one step at a time. Once you master the first step, then move to the next step. Or if you're more comfortable in one of those steps, then go to that step first. But I always recommend going to book sales first. And we're going to be talking tomorrow. What is our talk for tomorrow? Our talk for tomorrow is the 8 places to sell your book. The 8 places to sell your book. So I talked about tonight the 9 streams of income. And then we have book sales as one of the 9 streams of income. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about the 8 places that you could potentially sell your book. So I need you to tap in with me. And we're going to lock in and we're going to be able to go here and we're going to talk about it. But what are our last minute questions? Do we have any last questions? Do we have any last comments? I hope this was super, super valuable for you guys. I hope you go out and get those speaking engagements. I hope you go out and build those courses. I hope you go out and get those consultant services. I hope you go out and sell some books. I hope you get those digital courses and products sold. I hope you get those curriculums licensed from these organizations and these companies. I am so, so proud of everybody that has taken that has the courage and the bravery of showing up for your story and sharing your testimony. But now it's not just time to share your testimony in your community or in your friend group or in your family. It's time to start sharing that testimony with the world. So I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you want a book, I need you to follow me on Instagram, Kyle S. King on Instagram. Reach out either on LinkedIn or the platform that you are on right now. I want you to find me on that platform. I need you to say, hey, send me a free book. And one of my team members will reach out and we'll get you a book in the mail this week. All right. So I'm so excited for you to crack open the book and I'll see you guys tomorrow.